All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My name is Nwaka Onwusa. I'm the Vice President and Chief Curator here at the Rock Hall. Again, thank you so much. This is one of many programs that we're having at the Rock Hall to celebrate our new exhibit. It's been said all along, Voices of Rage, Hope, and Empowerment. It is our social justice message right now where we're talking about music as a force of change. So thank you so much for joining us tonight in this amazing conversation with Ziggy Marley. Before we get started tonight, just have a few announcements to make. If you are near and around and in the area in the Midwest, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. You can purchase tickets advance through rockhall.com. So make sure you check that out. Again, new great exhibits. It's been said all along, Voices of Rage, Hope, and Empowerment, which is channeling the voices of so many amazing musicians who have responded to racism and inequality all along. Next, you can check out that exhibit as well online at rockhall.com. So if you can't make it to Cleveland, you haven't missed out. You can check it out on rockhall.com. We also have amazing educational tools. If you are teaching at home right now, we're all in a mode of COVID consciousness. You can check that out on Rock Hall EDU. There's supplemental information there where you can teach and inspire your youth and adults alike with the amazing curriculum that's created by our educators here. Also, we have a new exhibit opening up on October 18th, which is celebrating the work of Rolling Stone's first chief photographer, Baron Wolman. So we're really excited about that. It highlights a few social justice trailblazers as well. And we're excited about that exhibit. Also, there's a reminder that our exhibit, Vans Warped Tour, is also coming to a close at the end of this month. So please come and check that out. We've also extended Play It Loud through the end of the year, which is one of our highlight exhibits. It's one of our largest exhibits here at the Rock Hall now, taking up space on 3 floors. So you don't want to miss those exhibits. You can also check out more information, like I said, on rockhall.com. So tonight we are really excited, again, as I mentioned, to have Ziggy Marley joining us. Amazing philanthropist, amazing songwriter, musician, to join us tonight. Also in celebration of his father's legacy, Bob Marley, who is featured in It's Been Said All Along through his messages of hope and empowerment. So without any further ado, we want to talk about that in this exhibit and talking about the amazing music that has come from Bob Marley and the messages that have impacted us globally. So without any further ado, please welcome multi-Grammy award-winning philanthropist, songwriter, author, Mr. Ziggy Marley. What's up?
Yeah, good to be with you, sister.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It really is an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, I have to say one thing. We're glad that you're here in good health and doing well. We want to give you a birthday shout out. We know your birthday is this month, October 17th, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So wishing you more life from the Rock Hall family, from all of us. We just want to say a huge happy birthday to you. So happy early birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really quick, just getting into the conversation. How are you doing tonight? How are you and your family coping through this time of COVID?
Yeah, we're making of the situation. I mean, however we find ourselves, we always try and balance, the issue with some relief. So positive energy,
Yes, nothing but positive energy. It's very necessary to have right now, especially during this time of so much social unrest. It's not an unfamiliar thing. It's something that you were born into, seeing growing up, hearing through the music. What have been some of your reflections, even just now? What are some of the takeaways of you seeing things happening early in your life? And how have they hit you today?
Well, I mean, I'm inspired some thoughts and some music, and we just feel like we just, we're tired of crossing rivers, you know what I'm saying? So we need to get some material change so that we don't have to keep repeating these issues and these same statements that we've been repeating for hundreds of years. Like something have to change now.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I said? The next step has to be taken. We can't delay the next step anymore. So we need to take the next step. And the society have to make that move because we're raising our voices, we're making them aware of the issues we're having. And we need it to be fixed and so that things can be better for everyone.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, these messages, these stories have been going for hundreds of years. This is not a new phenomenon, which is one of the inspirations that I had in curating this exhibit. It's been said all along. It's in the title. Like we've been saying this, we've been singing these songs, we've been marching, we've been fighting. At a time, like you said, it has to be balanced. Like we've been saying this, and that comes out of that. In putting this exhibit together, we couldn't tell this story without talking about Bob Marley, without talking about his global impact. I mean, in the exhibit, we actually have your father's, the beanie that he wore in the music video for One Love, which is really phenomenal that we have that. And I think not just having that artifact, but highlighting that song in the exhibit. Love is really the key. When we're talking about rage, hope, and empowerment, can you talk a little bit about like that impact of One Love and what it even means to have your dad in this exhibit?
Well, I mean, our father music and his humanity, him sacrifice to unify people, to bring social justice to people, to bring less political division, racial division. Him sacrifice for that. And so in terms of music, his music is like the voice of the people. Out of all the music that exists right now upon earth, his music is like our voice, like a part of us. You put any artist against Bob right now, may I tell you, in this time it is his music that is our voice, that is a part of the movement. And it always energizes us and gives us relief also.
Right.
And so it's the right thing because that's what the music is there for.
Right.
To energize the movement, for bring positive change. That's the purpose of the music,
Absolutely. I mean, like, we've heard people say, the every revolution has a soundtrack. The Marleys, I'm just going to say, like, the whole family, your collective, just you and your entire family, the messages that you guys have been putting out from the beginning have been about addressing these issues. Yes, it's great to dance and to bop and have a good time, but the messages truly come through and are conveyed in these songs. Talking about your growing up, even, you grew up around so much, seeing your mom and dad, were you around? Like, were you near when, just different things that they were dealing with in Kingston, like from, okay, we know your dad, there was a suicide attempt and like all these things, that you grew up in that struggle. How has that impacted you?
Well, it impacts me unconsciously, but it does impact me. I mean, sometimes we go through things in life, we don't know how they impact us, but we just know the type of person we are. And everything that we've been through plays a part in the type of person that we are.
Yeah.
But we can't really, like, I couldn't tell you really how, but we know it involved in my whole psyche. Growing up around my mother, my father, and the music at the time, and the movement that was going on at the time, and the revolutionary aspect of his work was very evident to me as a child. Like, and even when I look back, I realize, man, we were around some really, really, really strong times of movement and revolution. Me and my brother, we used to dance on stage at the end of my father's sets. And so, but two of the most significant concerts that we, did that on was the One Love Peace concert and the Independence celebration in Zimbabwe. Now, for me, I mean, the Independence celebration in Zimbabwe, I think, was the most impactful time that I can consciously say yes. I went to Africa for the first time, and it planted a seed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's where all of these moments, man, from the assassination attempt, as children, we were woken up in the middle of the night and rushed off to the safe house, let's call it that. And I remember that. I mean, it was frightening. But then I saw how my parents were. They weren't nervous. They weren't anxious. My mother got shot in her head. She came back. She was cool. Like, there was no, like, I didn't feel any nervous energy.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, like, them firm, positive,
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, it teach me how to go through. I mean, watching these things, going through these things, I think it teach me how what I expect of myself when I do go through adversary situation or bad situation. How I am in those times, especially with my children around or whatever, because if them see the parent acting like, oh my God, it's gonna affect the children. So I feel like my parents did a very good job, they reacted to certain situations with us around as children.
Right. I mean, and even talking about how they interacted with you and your brother, like, how did they talk about social justice issues to you even growing up? Like, did they mention those things and have conversation? Do you remember that?
No, we never need much conversation because we're living in the situation.
Mm.
You know what I say? So conversation was not the main form of teaching.
Right. You're living it and breathing it. Like,
it was the experience,
right.
being around it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that, I think that's how I learned. I think that's the next thing that I appreciate about the way I learn. I learned through a lot of being in it and not. And I observe from I was a child. I'm very observant, so I'm a student of this life, and I've learned a lot being around my father without him having to say something to me. I mean, it just soak into you. The lessons soak into you.
Right.
It soak into your consciousness. These lessons: hard work, discipline, focus. Helping other people. Using music as a tool, spirituality. All of these things was not said to me. All of these things were just soaked up from being around it.
Yes. No, I love that. You mentioned something I wanted to talk about. In this exhibit, it's been said we highlight some of the concerts that don't get a lot of attention. One of them being like Watt Stax Festival, which happened in California, actually, in Los Angeles in 1972. And then you're talking about the Independence Festival for Zimbabwe in 1980. I'm wearing this. This is specific to that moment. I mean, such a big deal. This is actually made right here in Cleveland. To honor your father and the importance and the significance of that festival. And because, we're living in this time of COVID where there are no concerts and, concerts are such a spiritual experience. I personally feel. How are you coping with that even now? Like, with having the experiences that you had on the road, how are you basically coping with, not having these concerts right now?
Well, as I say, like, we just adapt, you know what I mean? We have to adapt. We can't, I mean, coping with it, I understand. But it's just going with the flow of how, whatever is going on in this time. It's like,
right.
We just have to find a way to get through it the best we can, basically. I love playing music. I miss playing music. But I'm learning other things now. I'm doing other things now. I'm spending more time with my family now.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some writing. So we just bounce off and, find another thing, find another direction, and find a way to be productive
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is. We have to keep creating. You know, if nothing can stop us from creating, and that is what keeps us above the water. You know, above that line of going under. You know, that
Right.
that keep us kind of above it, so we can tread the water and not go under all the time.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, we cope with it, man. But we cope with it because we accept it and we just figure, say, instead of you think negative and you just you sulk in the negativity, you just find something positive and figure something out. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
what we have to do. You know what I say? And voting is one of them positive things that you can do too. You know what I say? So we
Yeah.
have to figure a way out. But yeah, that sounds positive to me. Let's go. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just go. Exactly. I mean, that moment though, I do want to say, like, it's it's just so important that we keep going, like you said, keep adapting and keeping up with the change. I mean, and you've been doing this. So, you know, wanting to talk about like your earliest musical experiences, obviously growing up around your mom and dad, being in the music, you had your group Melody Makers with your family, and want to talk about Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. There was a song actually on there, I believe that your dad wrote for you, right? Is there, I think Children Playing in the Streets is the title of the
Yeah.
song. Can you talk about that album and the impact of that?
Well, I mean, when we was kids, obviously music is around us. And we used to go to plenty. We used to go to church. So we used to have my grandmother was a church going lady. So um, the time we spent in Delaware with her, we went to a lot of church, and they did a lot of music. Music was always around, and spirituality was always around. Um, so in 1979, my father wrote this song called "Children Playing in the Street," and we end up singing it as children. Me, my brother Stephen, my sister Sidella, and later on Sharon come in. We sing the song, but we never. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like, hey, let's start a music career or whatever. We just sing a song, and then after that, we kind of just continued doing some shows in Jamaica at skating rings and small shows, and coming up as a child group. The first concert we ever did actually was a concert that my father was also on the bill. It was year of the International Year of the Child. I think it was 79, or I think it was 79. So that was looking back, that was a cool thing to realize. So we and him, his kids and him was on the same show at one point in time.
Right.
So for me, that's kind of fun, a fun thing to realize. Yeah, but the music thing really just come naturally. And then when I started writing songs, that's when I really like, not even say writing song, but writing songs from inspiration. So that means I really don't even know what it means. It just means that ideas come to you and you put them out. Because you care and because you have compassion, you're speaking what's in your heart and what other people can relate to. And that really made me do music, really, through writing songs. If I didn't write songs, I wouldn't be doing music. Just because that act of writing songs and the inspiration and the experience of it is so spiritual to me. It is the only reason why I'm doing music.
Yeah. Do you find yourself like your songs are also just poetry? Have there just been, or maybe just words that you write that you haven't even formulated into song or made a rhythm around it?
Yeah, man. Sometimes I get like, sometimes I want to be like, listen, I want to do a song. It doesn't have to rhyme. Let's just, 'Cause you have thoughts that don't rhyme. You know what I'm saying? That don't really work in the. And maybe one day I think I've been thinking about that. Just do a song that's just the words and don't care about the chorus or don't care about the format or nothing. Just do something. But yeah, sometimes words come like that. Music come like that. Where it's just the words, and then
Right.
you kind of have to fit it into a song. You know what I say?
Right. Yeah, I asked, I'm sitting in this room called the Garage, and it really is to pay homage to artists like you in the creative process. And making music in the most obscure places, like a garage. Where's the most obscure place where you feel like you've written a song or found inspiration? What's a moment for you like that?
Oh, well, I mean, listen, the music come anytime, anywhere, right? So I've made music in bathroom, I've made music in small spaces. Music can make anywhere. Because what we realize now is that, or what I realize, what I came to understand, or what I believe in the music now is that, for me, I think about the vibe of the music. So I don't need like a big space. It's just the vibe, and is it a good song? That's the most important thing. You know, whether you have the best equipment or the best this or the best that, that's secondary to it. You know, if you have really a good sound and a good vibe, then you have a possibility of people being drawn to that music, that sound. So music really can make any way right now. I mean, I've made it in all different type of places, you know. And a lot of the time I'm inspired when I'm taking a shower. Like that's I come up with a lot of songs when I'm taking a shower, because sometimes I use a shower as my meditation space, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that. Totally feel that. One of the things I'm really, inspired by, obviously, is the parallels of your music, your father's music, and looking at essentially what I guess you could argue is like the first seminal reggae album ever, Catch a Fire. And listening to that album, especially right now, during this time, it's very inspirational. Do you find yourself often listening to your dad's music? And if so, which songs kind of resonate? I'm not going to ask you like, oh, what's your favorite song? We're not doing that. But like, I know music, you can have a different song that can, inspire you maybe from day to day or week to week. Is there a song off of that album in particular? Because it's so, I don't want to call it a political album, but it's very woke. Okay. And it's very inspiring, like just from the very beginning. So is there a song, I would love to hear your thoughts from that album that moves you all the time?
Catch a Fire.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, cause for me, those songs give me a particular nostalgic feeling. It gives me a certain I don't know, there's something about that album and that period of time. You know, it's almost like I'm in the place where they are, and I can see what they're talking about and feel what they're talking about and singing about. Yeah, like it brings me back, it brings me back in time in a way, and still it is relevant today. But one of the things with those albums that for me is my biggest inspiration is, I don't think I even tell anybody these things, but it's the music, not even the vocals. It's the music. The music was adventurous. The music was ahead of its time. The music wasn't typical reggae music in terms of the intellectual definition of reggae. It was so revolutionary. It's still revolutionary because people think reggae is this or reggae is that. But when you listen to those albums, you hear things that is not even in reggae. That is not even a part of what reggae is supposed to be. But it is new. And it is I feel like if we can free ourselves, then it is reggae. Because reggae is a creative force. Reggae is not a factory that replicates itself. Reggae is a music that creates itself, not replicates. So that's how I feel about that album in particular. It is still a revolutionary album. Musically speaking. And one thing I want to point out is the bass line. The bass. Family Man play bass.
Yes.
So I am so inspired. He's my bass player that I copy the style. How the space is just, man. You ever hear music? If you like, listen to them song, the deep, and you feel
Deep beat. That's it.
you listen to it deep, man, and you get what I'm saying, man. I tell you, man, them song they're incredible.
Yes.
Hey, them song
No, it is so
complicated.
no, you are not. You are telling the truth. The music on that album, I'll say one of my favorites right now is High Tide or Low Tide. And the way like the bass hits on that, oh my God. Like it's just like you said, you hear the funk and you hear like so many different, you hear the soul in it from it up all the way on down. Like that, like you said, it is definitely a revolution.
Yes,
it is so beautiful. Like I love that you said that. It just the music alone. You could listen to that as an instrumental.
Yeah, man. I tell you, man.
Purely like you really could, but I love that moment is so spiritual. So I mean, so you yourself, we're going to get into the album that you've created, but you've recorded, and I could be wrong, but 19 albums. This new one makes it 19 from what I've counted out, or probably more that the public doesn't know, but I know you're not into the numbers, but you got 19, Ziggy. You got 19.
No, I know.
And it's just really exciting. I mean, just to see your discography and the messages that are told through your music. I feel like you're a Tupac in a way, you know, like born out of the revolution. You know, Tupac's mother of Faney was Black Panther. Like you are born out of this music, and so, like you said, it's in your veins. To preach the truth and to tell the truth. What do you have to say to contemporary artists now who are coming up and are, the new front runners in the messages that are being told right now? I mean, what do you have to say to the movement of today? I guess like our civil rights movement of 2020.
Well, you only can ask for someone to be who they are. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask someone to be who they are not. If you're not that, don't try to be that. But I don't think we have an issue with musicians or artists creating. Is the problem is the exposure, is the limit in what corporate structure, corporate radar, commercial structures want to expose and want to give the most light to. Mm-hmm. What kind of songs? What are they saying? What images are they portraying? What are they popularizing or want to monetize? Mm-hmm. So we have plenty of music with plenty of message. I feel like plenty of artists out there too with it. But is it the thing that's going to get you where you want to go financially or egotistically? Maybe not, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So people are willing to search and look for the message, because the system not going to give it to you. You have to go get it. The system don't want you to have that. It's a problem. They don't want you to, the consciousness awaken. If they don't want to add more fuel to that fire that is burning right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be a very big fire that, you can't put it out,
Catch a fire. There we go.
Table has turned,
Exactly. True. You're telling the truth. I mean, it has to be done purely, and I think, from my perspective, that is what makes your music, Bob Marley's music, the Wailers, music so timeless, because it was done out of a pure heart, out of authentic feelings. Like you said, it wasn't much talking going on. You're expressing your feelings, through how you are moved through your experiences. Mm-hmm. If you look at like historically, Jamaica's independence was 1962, like every revolution, like it's so beautiful to see like the music that comes out from the people, like that comes out of, out of struggle. And that's like why I love this exhibit. And I love that you're here to talk about this, because it really is shining a light on, those luminaries, those musicians who really have put their life on the line to talk about these stories. I mean, what would you say obviously, yes, the music is timeless, but what would you say in your words, what would characterize something that's unique about your father of why his music is so timeless, or what makes him so powerful even today?
So it's not just about the music. It's about his energy as a human being. It's about the people that knew him and the stories they tell about him. The type of man he was. I mean, he was a human being that people love as a human being before music. Just a man who Bob, you understand me? So anybody can tell about Bob who know Bob. You can't hate Bob. You know what I say? You just have to love Bob because the type of man he was. You know what I say? And you see that through music and through actions. And so it has a lot to do with that. People love Bob as in human energy, you know? And what this song, the words, what them hear them songs, give them an idea of who this man was as a man. Yeah? And so them love Bob as a man, as a friend, as a brother, as an uncle. Your Uncle Bob, brother Bob. So people feel just like how they used to feel about him in Jamaica in the country. Brother Bob, brother Bob, brother Uncle Bob, you know what I say? So Bob have that reach where him can reach the people on that level. Some people have the level of stardom. Bob have the level of the people. You know what I say? Him have both worlds. You know what I say? So that's why I'm really so strong,
Yes. And that's what you said, the voice of the people. My dad's Nigerian and he worked as a welder, and so many, yes. And he talks so much about, like you said, a man of the people, talking like Buffalo Soldier. Like this is our narrative. Like this is why he's still so celebrated, because he's tangible. You feel like you can feel him, like he was speaking to you, directly to you, nobody else but you. When you hear these records, you feel like he's marching with you, or here in the voting lines, in the picket lines, like picketing with you. So it's great to see how that translates, through the music. I think it's just so powerful, so beautiful what your family legacy has. I mean, you're celebrating 75 years of Bob Marley. This would be the 75th, and your mother's 75 as well, right? Like, is this her also 75th or 74th this year?
74th.
74th.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that celebration? Is there anything else lined up that you have for the 75th this year, celebrating the totality of his musical legacy?
Yeah, I remember the other day we posted something on his Instagram. And somebody was like, "Oh, I thought his birthday was in February." We're celebrating the whole year,
Come on, right?
We're not just celebrating in February; we're celebrating the whole year.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to understand that. What we have coming up next is, I think we have a picture book that I curated coming out next week, October 13th. It's a photo with the family. We have an archive of a lot of photos. And I felt like for the 75th birthday, we would like to show Bob, or give people more of Bob beyond the idol of Bob, or the legend of Bob, or the superstar, or whatever. You know what I say? Even to bring you closer, just as much as we just spoke about people feeling that way, this is even to bring you closer. And so the book have photos in it. It have some, classic type of photos, but it also have some very down-to-earth, behind-the-scenes photos, and some stories that really give you an insight into who Bob really was, because, one of the stories in him, he's a farmer. That's his first love. Now, I tell you the truth, when I read that, I never really know that as a fact, that Bob's first love is farming. Music is his second. Is his second life.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what he loves. He loves to farm. That's his first love. So it really gives you a kind of different perspective, so you can kind of check Bob out from a different point of view,
Right. Oh, I can't wait for that. I mean, and that's, you know what? It's beautiful because the photographs are also so critical to the narrative, like into who a person is. Like with this exhibit, bringing it back to it's been said all along. The photos that you see in this exhibit are not of, the typical Black folks being lynched and sicked by dogs and hosed down by fire hoses. Like, we don't need to see that anymore. Right. So I'm very excited that this is a part of the photos are so critical into, like you said, opening up to see a whole new side of who Bob Marley is.
No, as you say, and I said it in my introduction in the book too, I said that half of the story that has never been told will be told by photographs. And even now, more than ever, as we see, everybody have a camera. Yeah. So stuff that we never used to see, or we never was told, we're going to be seeing it now. So that's the next half. The photos are going to be the next half of the story.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait for that. Okay, so when is that coming out? You said October 23rd? 13th. Oh, coming up. All right, that's next week.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, so let's talk about your album that's out, More Family Time, that's out on all platforms. So we know you have Family Time, but More Family Time. Perfect timing. Where did this come from?
Came from that having more family time. More family time. We had so much family time. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was right. You know what? I finished touring last year, and I was back home earlier this year, and I'm gonna take some time off. I'm gonna take some space from my brains for kind of chill out. Chill out the mind a little bit, and then things started happening. The COVID thing started happening, and the Black Lives Movement, the George Floyd, and everything that was going on even before the George Floyd thing, but it kind of raised up to the surface right now. And I mean, it was going through my mind, and I started being inspired to say stuff, inspired by what was going on in the streets in America at the time. But then I had my children around me, and my son, my 4-year-old son, he would come, he likes to have fun, he would come around me and say, "Goo goo gaga, goo goo gaga." And so I wrote a song called Goo Goo Gaga. And from I wrote that song, it kind of started me down a path of writing songs geared less towards what was going on in the streets and more towards what was going on with the children. So it kind of switched my focus to the children. And it was a little bit conflict for me because I really wanted to say some stuff, Hey, and I put out my music. It don't have to be a big deal. I write a song, I can put it out anytime. I could just write it today and put it out tomorrow and say, this is what I'm thinking about, what's happening.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit like, yo. And then I was like, you know what? Follow the truth, man. Follow how you feel. And I really felt like going down the path of family and expressing something specifically geared towards children was my role in what was going on on the streets. This is my role. Today, this is my role. Give some love to the children, express something to the children, give the family something to uplift them spirit. And so I follow that part instead of the other part. But the other part is still there. It's coming next.
We'll get that too, yes. No, but I love it because it's so important. Like, we talk about the adult experience, the grown-up experience through COVID. So the fact that you're providing something for the youth, for the children who are also experiencing COVID just as equally. I mean, the isolation, all these feelings, the angst, the anxiety. One of my favorite songs, you have so many amazing features on this album that are dope. I love Angelique Kidjo. She is like a spiritual auntie for me. Jumbo, that's my jam. I played that for my little Zion, my niece Zion, and she was jamming. Oh my God, she loves that song. But you have some amazing features. So Angelique Kidjo, who were the kids on the album?
And say it again.
Were your children on the album as well?
Yeah, man. The children are featured on the last song called Wonderful People. Abraham, Judah, and Gideon. And Isaiah he's on Move Your Body because he's the reason I wrote that song. Because we're talking about sugar. I remember we were talking and he likes sweets, Was there no more sugar? So that song kind of came out of him, like me and him talking about sugar and not eating so much sugar. And then we have to move our body to get rid of that sugar energy. But so Ben Harper is on Play with Sky, Sheryl Crow is on Everywhere You Go, Music Isn't Everything is a sister called Lisa Loeb. Move Your Body is Tamarel and Busta Rhymes. And then I have Garden Song of Miracles with my brother Stephen. Jambo with Angelique. Jambo, yeah man, I love Jambo too. I really love Jambo.
Jambo is a jam. It's not just for the kids. Like Jambo is the real. I was jamming to that. Like that one, I love that song. It is so. I'm telling my niece was just like, it's great. And I see the artwork in the back. Is this their artwork behind you?
Yes, this is their artwork. That's right. That's them. Short years. From they were a little bit till them I get big, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's amazing. You know, one of the comments here, good thing that family is first. And that's something that, you know, you could see. It's beautiful to see the legacy, you know, like you were with your parents while they were touring. You were in the midst of it, and you're just bringing your children a part of the journey as well. That only, you know, enhances their experience as well. I mean, how are you even... I mean, so do they have a good understanding of the recording process now? Like when they go into the studio with you?
Yeah, man, them know it, man, because it's a discipline. It's not like a play, it's not playtime.
Right.
It's fun, but them still realize, because of how I interact with them when we're doing stuff like this, is that this is something you need to be focused and disciplined about. You know, and we have to get it, we'll do it till we get it right.
Right.
So you're in and out. You have to really get in there. So I think it teach them life lessons also, not just music stuff, but life lessons of, you know, sticking the course and doing something till they get it right, you know?
Right. Absolutely. That discipline is very necessary. So we know we want to get into some music. You're going to play a song off of the album, or you're going to play a song for us this evening. And we also have some Q&As. From our audience as well. So I don't know which one you want to do first. If you want to play, and then we get into Q&A, or we can also.
I'm gonna do the Q&A first. I'm play the last one. Yeah.
We will get into the Q&A in just a second. But again, just getting back into really quick. Oh, we have the Q&As here.
All right.
Awesome. And thank you all so much for tuning in. And thank you so much, again, Ziggy, so much for your time. So, all right, we have some questions here ready to go. All right. So, have you ever collaborated with the musicians your dad played with? This is from Damien from Facebook. Thanks, Damien.
Yeah, man. I mean, in the early days, it was his band that used to play for us if we were recording stuff. And I just found a picture of me and Family Man, who's the bass player. I'm playing drums, he's on the bass. From about, I don't know, 30, 35, 40 years ago, who knows. And so we were always around them. And during the break in rehearsals, we would get up on the instruments and play around. And sometimes, you know, they would jam with us. But short years, we've played with the Wailers. Tyrone, and the whole of them. Yeah, man.
Wow. How did you learn how to play guitar, actually? Do you play by ear, or did you like learn how to read notes and formally train?
No. I took a couple guitar lessons. I learned like 4 chords, G, C, G7, and some other chords. And then I just bought a book and started teaching myself. Yeah.
Nice. This is a beautiful question from Kelsey on YouTube right now. She says, what can we do to bring togetherness and love back to this divisive world we are in now? I know that's one of a question that we all have, but what do you say that is, Ziggy?
Well, besides from being that way, authentically as a person, and setting an example for everyone, wherever you are, how to interact with each other, how to treat each other with equality and respect. It's something that you have to make an effort to do. It's not just going to happen. So it's a conscious decision, you know, that a lot of us have to make if we want this to work. Because, as I say in one of my songs, only the willing will see their dreams. No, we want to see more love. And no, remember, it's not going to be perfect. The world will never be a perfect fantasy place where everybody is hunky-dory and everything is blah, 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 blah. It's never going to be that way, right? Because there's always going to be conflict or whatever. But what we want is a balance or even a counterbalance so that the normal will be the good thing and then the abnormal thing will be the hate and the violence and the divisiveness. Right now, the divisiveness is the thing. Mm-hmm. And so we need for that is a balance. It's rebalancing society. It's not thinking, oh, we have this idea of peace and love for everybody. It's never going to be everyone like that. But it's just to rebalance things. And one of the most important things we can do is what example we set for our children. This is where the real this is where the real thing is going to come from, really. Because adults, a lot of adults, it's hard. Adults say I'm kind of set and blah, blah, blah. But if we can give our children the tools that we have learned from our time, I think that is a big part of the solution. And it's not going to happen tomorrow for me or the day after that. So I have to make sure we pass on the lessons and the tools needed to achieve what our dreams are. Only the willing. We have to be willing to do it, and we have to be willing to pass it on so that our children will be willing too. And we'll keep taking those steps forward until we rebalance things.
Yes. No, that is so true. It's never going to be a perfect. Like, I love that. It's all about the balance. All about the balance. Another great question here from Philip on Facebook. Thank you so much. What would your father have to say about all of the unrest happening in the U.S. right now? I'm curious if you remember anything that he said of the past. I mean, right now, probably the same thing.
Well, I get that question quite often nowadays. And what I said is that what I always say is the same thing. Like, he already said it. It's in his music. I don't have to like imagine what he's gonna want to say. He's saying it.
Yes.
And war until the philosophy, which was one race superior and another race. He sings about it. He sings about one love. He sings about black man redemption. He sings about African unity. He's saying what he wants to say right now. I don't have to think of what he would say. He's saying it. So it's all there in the music. It's all there in the message that he says. That's how he feels.
I love that. It is. It truly is. Adriana on Facebook, do you plan to resume your tour with Steven?
Yeah, I mean, we hope to do it. As soon as things, safe, as soon as we can do things in a safe way. I did a viral tribute to my father earlier this year, and Steve is getting ready to do another one because we were supposed to do it together this year. We were supposed to be touring, doing concerts in tribute at the 75th birthday. But no, we do it separate, and he's getting ready to do a viral one anytime soon now. We let people know when that is happening. But I did mine already, and now it's his turn.
Amazing. Yeah, I watched the performance that you did. It was absolutely beautiful. It's a concert in your own home. Just such a vibe. Such a vibe. Such an amazing time. I would definitely have to say too, just the messages through the music, the inspiration, the family, the connection, everything that you're talking about now, the global role that music is playing, which is so important. You're getting so many amazing comments. Ziggy, you're the best. But we're just grateful for your endurance, in sharing this, because this isn't just like you said, music and recording. This is not a plaything. This is you giving of yourself, sacrificing your time and your energy to this cause. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing as well, and spreading a message of hope right now to people. So yes, one love, totally. I guess we can get ready. I don't know if you're ready to play.
Yes,
I think everyone, I'm seeing comments. Folks are ready to hear some music. Beautiful guitar.
Yeah, maybe not one half of the new album, but I think this song this song was a very important idea that opened up my consciousness when I realized what it was and what I was saying. And this represents me the most, I think. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Oh. Bring all the lovers to the fold. No one is gonna lose their soul. Yes, all my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. Through the books I've looked, through time I've searched. Love now, love is my religion. Love Lord, love is my religion. Love Lord, love is my religion. Take you to the temple tonight. I take you to the temple tonight. I don't want to fight. Hey, let's go fly a kite. There's nothing that we cannot cure. Said I'll keep you in my arms for sure. Listen up. Don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits have to soar. With you, I share this gift. This gift that we now know. Talking about love is my religion. Tell you now, love is my religion. But you know, love, yes, is my religion. Take it or leave it. You don't have to believe it. But I'm done searching now. I find out what this life is worth. Not in your books did I find what was always inside. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is the calling I have heard. Bring all the lovers to the fold. No one is gonna lose their soul. Your love now is my religion. Your love now is my religion. Love, y'all, love is my religion. Take it or leave it. How do you believe? Take it or leave it. How do you believe? Take it or leave it. How do you believe? All we need is love.
Amazing. Amazing. All we need is love. Yes, love is my religion. Ziggy, you better come on. Oh, I love it. Absolutely amazing. I mean, and that's rock and roll. That's the power of rock and roll. I mean, Bob Marley inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My definition is definitely rock and roll is a feeling just as much as like reggae, raga, even like if you're looking at Indian music, is a feel. It's an emotion. It's a spiritual thing. So we are so happy to have that spirit just kind of just flowing. Love is freedom. Definitely. I mean, come on. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Within all of what's happening, we can't forget that. You know, that is the thing. You know, I know. You know, some of us are angry, some of us are upset. You know, but we cannot forget love, because that is our weapon. That is our tool. That's what we use for victory. It's love we are gonna use for victory, not anger, not hate. You know, it's love we are gonna use to come together and fight the oppression. You know.
Right. That's one thing my mom always said, love covers a multitude. So that's the thing that helps us grow. It keeps us strong. So
yes, sir.
again, we are just so honored to have your voice, to have your presence here with us, and to just share some time here at the Rock Hall. So thank you so much. Gratitude to your family, to the Marley family, and happy birthday. We're wishing you a more family time, but more life. Absolutely. So just so everyone knows, you can check this program, this interview out with our partners on Sirius XM. You'll be able to check out more of this interview. It's streaming on YouTube and Facebook now. But thank you again so much, Mr. Marley.
Sister, give thanks, love.
Much respect. All right, everybody who's watching out there, thank you so much. Peace and love.